Hello everyone, I am Kanishka Verma and I welcome all of you to Exun Orientation 2023. Let us start talking about Exun Clan, the computer club of DPSRK Purum. It was founded in 1992 by Mukesh, Sir and like-minded tech enthusiasts. Today, it is a family of over 70 members and all of them are extremely good in different departments. However, at the core of our values is our motto, We Not I, which symbolizes a strong sense of teamwork and collaboration, which every Exun member is incomparable, and the entire family supports you every single step of the way, from fun to serious work together. Beyond anything, what unites us are our shared values and enthusiasm for putting technology to good use.
Our teacher in charge is Mukesh Kumar Sir, Vice Principal and Head of Department of Computer Science at DPSRK. He has been leading the club for 31 years, making it what it is today, one of the premier tech clubs in the country.
Right. We also, our coordinators of Exun Clan are Hema ma'am and Mohit sir. They have been our support system since Exun started, and I would like to call Hema ma'am to talk about Exun more.
All right. I see a lot of enthusiasm here, which is very good. And this enthusiasm should not fade away. Okay? So even if you do not succeed in your elite, everybody will not get through, of course. You should continue to strive, at getting in again next year, learning more, and just move forward. Now, the main thing that they've been talking about is that our club is we, not I. So we all are together in this at equal level. We do not have any hierarchy here. So whether you're in class 6 or you're in class 12 or whatever, everybody is approachable. You all can mingle, talk, find out. And once you're a part of this club, you have to follow a certain, discipline, values. That's very, very important. If you look at all the alumni that we have from the club, you will see that they move forward with that energy and with that discipline. And whenever they come back to us, it's with a lot of positive energy. So we want that to continue year by year. I've been here for 32 years and I've seen this club really expand. And with all the good thoughts and all the good energy that we move forward. I do not want to talk too much. The only thing I want to say is, specifically for girls, that please come forward. We want more girl participation here. Do not be intimidated with more number of boys in the club. When I started teaching computer science, I have taught full boy sections. And we've moved forward to sections where we have almost 40% of them being girls. So there is a lot of difference now than then. And I want that to keep on increasing. So the participation and the feeling that yes, I can do it has to come in both, everybody, the girls and the boys both. And for you to find any anchor, anywhere that you want to discuss anything, you want to approach us for help, I'm there always. You can find me either in F block staff room, which is on first floor, or in the labs. Mostly I'll be there in that area. So if you want to approach me, please come and speak with me. And speak to your seniors and your friends. Just learn from each other and move forward. That's all I want to say, and I'll move this to your own Exun people okay, thank you.
These are also the CS faculty members who assist Exun on the various activities. They are Ms. Shalini Harisa, Ms. Sangeeta, Mr. Ajit Kumar, Ms. Saika Kaushal, and Ms. Sanjana. Also, I'd just like to take a moment to mention the school clubs within Exun Clan, which we collaborate with for our annual event, Exun 2023. These are QXL, Domain Square Plus, and Global Nights.
Right, so since you're here, you must be wondering that what do we even do at Exun? Well, to start, I would just like to emphasize that we managed to push the limits of technology in new and innovative ways in whatever we do, making the club an incredible platform in itself. Some of our undertakings include, firstly, competing at technology events. We go for national, international competitions, international science olympiads, and And except that, we hone and expand our skill sets through competitions and collaboration. We also build exciting new products. We have built Boxware, Anslan, Dhwani, Prepto, Bujo to name a few. We'll be showcasing some of these today as well. Finally, we organize one of the country's largest high school technology events at a school, which is an incredible experience as organizers, and I'm sure it's for the participants as well. If we've come this far, Sir Isaac Newton would have said, it is of course because we stand on the shoulders of giants, our pillars, our alumni. I would like to hand it over to Alok from here.
Exun has an extensive network of alumni that regularly keep in touch. They have achieved extraordinary feats. Some have gone to MIT and working at tech companies like Google and Microsoft.
On that note, I would like to invite Gurmani Singh, Exun Honorary Advisor of Batch 2013.
So yeah, I haven't prepared anything, but I want to ask you guys, like, how many of you are from like 6th to 8th standard? Please raise your hand. Okay, hands down. How many of you are from 9th to 10th? Okay, and now how many of you are from 11th to 12th? Okay, so it's actually crazy because I actually joined Exun in 11th and I was just an honorary advisor, and everyone gets some position or the other at whenever they join Exun. I still remember when I joined Exun, I was in GD. I had very low level of technical skills, and it was in class 11th, and I used to sit in those group discussions, and these guys knew so much more than what I did, and you get a very serious imposter syndrome that you don't deserve to be in Exun. These guys are much smarter than you, they're much better than you. But I think Mukesh sir has done an amazing job to set the sort of motto of Exun as we not I. Because I remember whenever we used to go for competitions, whether you individually win or not, the vibe always used to be that whenever we win the overall trophy, it's about the team. So what I would tell you guys is that the skills that you will learn at Exun or at any other club, there are so many more now from the time when I graduated from school. Teamwork, collaboration and honesty is like communication, is like the core skill set that you have to develop. Technical skills is going to come with time after you join as well. I think from what I see my friends doing, I graduated from school in 2015, which is like 8 years ago now. And I know some people are confusing me for a parent now, and at the gate they were like, "Aapka bachcha yahan padta hai kya?" And I was like, "Nahi yaar." But I think from learning from friends who are in the US or in the UK, I myself am not in the technical industry now. I work with lawyers and law firms in the US who have like big universities like MIT as their clients. And you just see that the skills that matter the most are the soft skills. You'll find your place wherever you are. And as Hema ma'am said, like if you fail this year to join Exun, that's just part of the stepping stone to success. So if you don't join this year, it's fine. I joined in class 11th and I'm here standing today speaking to you guys. And I remember I won 2 overall trophies, out of which only one was something that I contributed individually in. But at that stage, I remember, and I tell the story every time, is that when we used to organize Exun, I used to be the logistics guy. And Mukesh sir used to rely on me, and everyone used to rely on me to have like a car ready to drive around the food and get everyone home on time, because parents used to start calling, and I used to be the person who used to sort of deal with all of that. And yes, my point being that each of you is valuable. Each of you is going to be part of a big team when you join Exun. It's 70 plus people now. It wasn't that big when I was there. So give it your best shot. It's great if you get in. It's fine if you don't. Focus on your skills. I remember there were people who used to code, who used to build projects outside Exun, and they got in because they were so amazing that they did not need Elite to join as well. So I don't know if that still happens, but make sure you're just one of those people who develops the skills, works with people in whatever domain you are, and gives your best and focuses on having the team win. That is the vibe of Exun, and I hope all of you succeed in whatever you do. Thank you very much, and please feel free to speak to me later.
For telling us about your wonderful experience here. So now on this note, I would like to invite Kavin Wali, President of Batch 23.
Okay, like Karmanya Bhaiya, I haven't prepared a thing. I wasn't even going to speak, but like last moment, I'm just here. So basically, I haven't even graduated yet technically, but like I was the president of the batch of 2023, which just passed out. So I got in when I was in. So I got in when I was in 10th. So that was the COVID period when COVID just started. Sab coding karne lag gaye the. Even I started and I got into Exun. I tried. Like the thing about Elite, which people don't really understand is, most of the people who start doing the inductions don't know a thing when they get into it. But during that process, like because you're interacting with so many people who are like in similar phases while they are starting, and like you talk to people, you talk to seniors who are already in Exun, you interact with the alumni, you start gaining a lot of knowledge through that, and that's only the technical part. But the more and more you get involved in going to events and going to organizing them, you'll start understanding the soft skills, like Karmanya Bhaiya said, कि communication कैसे होता है, how do you get to talk to people, how do you get to make a network around yourself, कि like even after you graduate, even like college जब जाओगे, college खत्म हो जाए, you'll still have that network कि कुछ ज़रूरत पड़ जाए तो you can talk to them and find out about something which might be their expertise, and you might not be that proficient in that piece of thing. So yeah, like Karmanya Bhaiya ने काफी cover कर ही दिया, and I didn't prepare उतना, but for example मैं एक चीज बताता हूँ. So basically I didn't participate in a lot of events because I came in so late, 10th में, and then COVID हो गया था, काफी online events हुए थे. I did online events, but one of my good friends in the tech circuit is from another school, and we met through all the events which were going here, and I interacted with him. He is actually now considered a really good developer, and उसको बड़ी कंपनी से ऑफर आते हैं, एंड वो अभी 12th आया है, एंड I interacted with him. मेरे को जब भी कोई डाउट होता है I go to him, but the thing is वो जो चीज़ the communication which happened with him, वो tech circuit के through ही है. Tech circuit is basically all the events which we go through and all the clubs which you communicate with him. So that kind of communication also builds when you go to events, talk to other people from other schools, not only this school. So मैंने काफ़ी अब तो repeat ही कर दिया, but I don't have much else to say, so I'll pass on to Anup.
I would like to invite Sneha Chandra, Honorary Advisor of Exun Batch 23 and President of the Student Council.
Hi. Embarrassing way to start. Even I was going to say that I didn't prepare anything, but apparently that's not original anymore. So hi, I'm Sneha. I joined Exun in 11th back in 2021. That was also an online school, and COVID was going on, it was all online. And I got into design. And instead of sharing a personal anecdote, I want to share something that I found very interesting when I was a new ad hoc. So if you, do you guys know what Ln Exun is? It's the natural log of Exun. Get it? Ln Exun, natural log of Exun. We're very clever. But anyway, Ln Exun में If you scroll, like a lot, back in April 22nd of 2004, there's a post by an Exun member which says, active bloggers of Exun clan, please try Gmail. And Gmail was a company that went public back in 2004. And back then, they were only sending invites to people who were active in the blogging community. And like, just think about that. Exun members were like some of the first people in India to have a Gmail account. Like, come on. And that is what people mean when they say that Exun is, it's so much more than a club, you know? And of course, I'm biased, but Exun is the best club in the school. Exun is the best club in the world, actually. But yeah, so it's about the exposure that you get by just being a part of Exun clan. And you know, like, this is not something that you get to really appreciate at the time, or like it doesn't really sink in. Of course, I'm like sort of young, so I can't appreciate it myself properly. But like, you will never find that you give something to Exun, whether it be your time, your interest, or your efforts, and not get something priceless in return, be it experience, or exposure, or opportunities, or just, you know, memories and friends. I guess those are important too. But yeah, so you're in for the ride, and it's all really great. And like Hemama said, I know so many people who gave Elite for like 3 years consecutively, didn't get in, and then got into like GD or something, and then became like the best 3D designer in the Delhi tech circuit. You know, so that is the kind of people that we have, and that's why in Exun it's not about your skills or how much of a pro god you are. Like, people do that a lot. People call you a pro god. Then, you know, इसी सड़क पे चल रहे होगे लोग आके तुम्हारे पैर छू लेंगे ऐसे. हाँ, true story. And so, you know, it's more than that. It's about learning, and yeah, you get into GD, you get into design or something, and then you go on to become like a CL pro, or you start doing programming, or you know, machine learning or motion design or whatever. So you know, the possibilities are endless, and you have access to this great network. Like, you can connect to alumni from 2009, from 1997, who are like working at Google and Microsoft, and you can just drop them a message on Discord, on WhatsApp, and get a reply in like 30 minutes, because that's what Exun means to all the people that are in that family. You know, so it's because, you know, being a part of something special, it makes you special, and you know, that's what Exun is about, and it's great. So all the best for Elite, and all the best to everybody who's been a commentator tonight. Thank you so much.
Now, we have an annual technology symposium called Exun, which starting from 2020 has gone international, being the first student-run technology symposium to do so. And we have participants from all over the world. So after 2 years of, well, the COVID pandemic, where we held it online, Exun 2022 was back, but this time in a hybrid mode. We had some events offline, while some had prelims which were held online, but with offline finals. So last year, Exun 2022 was a massive success. We had more than 25 events and thousands of participants all over the world.
Exun has served as a unique platform for all of us. Many of us were not too experienced before we got inducted to this club, and many of us even changed our area of expertise after joining and getting interested. So even if you are unsure, just give it a try. Next slide, please. This is a broad overview of the induction process. And once Elite starts, today onwards, Google Classroom will be created for each department, where department-specific events Some will have first rounds to clear, but others won't. And you can try whichever seems interesting to you. Again, the department-specific instructions will be released on their respective classrooms. The common paper will be held tomorrow, that is 9th May 2023, which would be for quizzing, crossword, computational linguistics, and hardware. Even if you are not very experienced in a particular skill, if it interests you, please go for it. Now we will be starting with the descriptions of various departments in Exun. I now invite Pratyush and Siddharth to speak about quizzing department.
Hello. So, Pratyush and I will be taking you over to process the ideas. So, here are the common misconceptions that I'm pretty sure some of you, and I had. To start off, quizzing isn't a one-line fill in the blank MCQ type question. No, definitely not. It's more of a paragraph. It's more of a paragraph long. Connect the dots. It's a puzzle which has got subtle hints, which you need to apply, which you need your knowledge of technology, connect the dots and apply. So in any quiz, you may not have the knowledge, the answer. You may not know the answer, but you may not know the answer. But you can use the hints. You can connect the dots, and you'll find the answers. Contrary to popular belief, we don't mug up facts. No, I can't. A good question will not only exercise your memory, but it will also require you to apply the knowledge. So quizzes don't mug up facts. I can't. Please, no. A good quiz doesn't just exercise your memory. It also requires you to apply your critical thinking skills. You need to analyze the question, look at the hints, look for the hints, and then you'll work out the answer. So here's an example question. The term X, which originally meant to soak, is estimated to have come into usage on ships in the mid-19th century. Wooden vessels were X'd to ensure that they don't leak. This lingo then took the form of soaking oneself in drinks in the early 20th century and extended to include eating in large amounts. Now it is used in the world of media consumption, with each person defining an Xing session differently. This usage came into prominence with the advent of streaming platforms. Their premium offerings ensure that an X session will not be interrupted by advertisements. Some don't move for hours, while some are happy with a handful of viewings. So what is this term X, which is also the 2015 word of the year? So does anyone want to take a guess?
We'll see. We'll work out the question. Anyone else want to take a guess?
Video watching session.
There. Okay.
Binge.
Okay. And the last one? Pirate.
Alright, one more.
Dream.
What did you say? Stream. So, anyone else want to take one? Okay, one more second. The best answers are usually just random guesses, so you don't actually have to know what the question is saying to make a guess.
Sports.
wasn't here?
Exports.
Oh, fine. So does everyone just in one more time, then we'll go on to dissecting each line of the question, and then you'll get a clear answer of how to, get an answer. Oh, you want to give an answer? Sure. Spotify, okay. See, when they say, okay, we'll explain that when we get to okay, never mind. Yeah, last shape. Okay, fine. So now we'll dissect every line. I'm not going to say which one of the answers was correct. I'm telling you that. I won't tell you which one. We'll see that. Okay, let me just go to the next slide. Okay, so first clue in the entire paragraph comes in the third line, I believe. It's the to include eating in large amounts. So when we do something in large amounts, there's one particular word we use for it, which it might not be clear why that's relevant to tech, but then now we have. Now the second clue says that when we connect eating in large amounts to media consumption. So now we're consuming, like we're basically consuming media or television, TV shows, movies in large amounts. Okay, so there's one specific word which comes to mind when you think about this. And this clue comes in the form of Xing session. What do we do when we consume media in large amounts in a session, like in a period of time? What is that called? Binging, yes. So he was. Thank you very much. So, let's go to the next. The X is the word binge. And by the way, don't worry if you couldn't get the answer. Like, I'm pretty sure when I started quizzing, I barely got there was one quiz I attempted. There were 20 questions. I got 2. Don't worry about it. You will eventually get there. It's just a matter of practice and experience. That's all.
Now we have to call Anu and Yuvan to talk about crosswords.
Next slide. So, what is crossword? Crossword is basically a non-technical department which doesn't actually requires you to have in-depth knowledge of technology. Next slide, please. How is it different? So basically, all the questions are actually pun-based, or they also require, a sense of wordplay. So we have 2 questions here. Apple's best chef. First 3 letters and then 4 letters. Tim Cook. Are you sure?
Yes.
MacBook. Tim Cook, MacBook. Okay. Any other answer? Bus. Okay. Then there is Thoda Bada 3.14, which has 5 letters. 5? 5? 5?
Yes.
5 letters?
Yes.
Okay, never mind. We have the solutions. I would like to pass the mic to my Yuvan. Okay, so my brother.
Thank you, Anu. So I am here to tell you the solution. By the way, you have to raise hands to give answers to it. So the first one, everyone got it right because it was pretty easy. First one was Tim Cook. Obviously, chef is equal to cook. Apple would mean something related to Apple. So the second one was a bit tricky. Pi is obviously 3.1 for everyone, right? And the wordplay with Thoda Bada is XL. Medium would be M and Bada would be L and Thoda Bada would be XL. That's the logic behind that. So when you add both of those, it would be pixel. If you did not get any of these right, don't worry. You all are probably exhausted from school and stuff. And crossword is one of those things which the more you do it, the more connections you will build with stuff, and then you can get more answers right. And a lot of it also has to do with flow. If you are in the flow state, then you can get a lot of the answers right. Does anyone have any doubts regarding crossword? That girl over there, can somebody pass the mic?
What does 3.14 refer to?
Here 3.14 refers to pi. The value of pi is 3.14, so that's why 3.14 is pi. Uh, so that's all the queries we will take today. If you have any other queries, we have a queries link. You can go there and submit a form in order to get your queries solved. I would like to pass to competitive programming. So.
Hello, I'll be talking about competitive programming. So when you hear competitive programming, you probably think, okay, this is Python, this is C++, this is some random programming language, and they're going to make cool code. No, that is actually a little bit of what it is, but it's not the entire thing. So what competitive programming is it's a sport basically, like where you compete against other people individually or in a group actually, it doesn't make a difference, and you solve problems with code, but mostly using just logic and maths. Okay? So coding is actually the easier part of it. Like it's very hard to find a solution. It's much easier to code the solution. Okay. So what do competitive programmers do? They take part in online contests. They solve practice problems. There's in fact an Olympiad dedicated just to competitive programming. It's called the Zonal Computing Olympiad and the Indian National Olympiad of Informatics, which is a very, very prestigious Olympiad. And if you are taking part in competitive programming or want to do it so in the future, you might want to consider giving that Olympiad. Anyways, so on to a sample competitive programming problem so you can figure out what it's about. I'll read out the problem, you're free to solve it while I'm talking, and I'll give you a few minutes and then we'll compare answers, okay? So suppose you have a rectangular sheet of paper with length L and breadth B. The dimensions are denoted by L comma B. Given such a sheet of paper, you can perform two operations on it. You can either divide L by 2, L by 2, comma B to make that whole thing, or you can do L comma B by 2, where you divide B by 2. And you can keep on doing this until you reach two numbers which are not divisible by 2, like let's say 1 comma 1 or 5 comma 3, like that. Okay, so next slide please, thank you. So you're given an integer s, okay, random integer, doesn't matter what s is. So now you have one L plus B has to be less than equal to s. I'll just repeat that. Very important. L plus B has to be less than equal to s. So now your job, as in ignore all the jargon written over here, doesn't really make any much sense. What you have to do is you have to find two numbers, L and B, such that you can divide them the maximum amount of times, and given that s integer, where like s is equal to 4, s is equal to 5, it has to, the sum of L plus B has to be less than equal to s. Okay? These are your three problems. You have L comma B, you have to choose L and B. Okay, I'll just repeat it. You have to choose L and B such that L plus B is less than equal to S, and you can divide L and B the maximum amount of times by 2. Okay? Does anyone have any doubts? If anyone wants to ask what that means or anything? Yeah, sub lost. Seriously, if anyone has any doubts, you can ask.
Are we given the value of S?
We'll give the value of S. Just try and figure out what that could be, the answer. Because coding it is easier. And figure out harder.
Also, will you give the S or do we?
Yeah, so we'll give the S to you. Like, I'll give one example question now, we'll give the S. Don't worry. So I'll give you 2 minutes to figure it out. You want to have a question? Yes. You're close. So what he said is, should the answer be a multiple of 2? He's close to the answer, but he's not exactly right. Power of 2. Okay, so there's your biggest hint. L and B have to be powers of 2. Now try and solve the problem. Thank you, Wilson. What's your name? What's your name? Thank you. We gave the pens and pencils just for this reason.
Somebody raise their hand. Somebody raise their hand.
So, has everyone thought of a nice solution? Anyone? Okay, wait. Fine, fine. Anyone has a solution they want to share? Okay, yeah, sure. Can you pass the mic to him? Thank you.
12 and 34.
Okay, wait. Not specific values right now. I just want to, what made you choose 12 and 34?
See, first of all, 12 and 34. See, we divide them, as we divide them, even if S is an integer, we need to find out that L plus B is less than S. So 12 and 34, if we divide it, if we continuously divide it 6 and we get 17. Yes, 17 plus 6 is 23.
Okay, so wait, there was one misconception about the question. No, so what you have to report is not L plus B, the final value is L plus B. You're not supposed to report that. You're supposed to report the maximum number of times you can divide L. Like let's say if I chose 4 and 8, I can divide 4 by 2, and then 2 by 2, 1. So that's 2 times I've divided that number, L. And then B I've made 8, so I can divide it twice, as in like 3 times, right? To get 1. So I've divided it 2 plus 3, that's 5 times. Okay, anyone else has that? Okay, you want to give an answer? Okay, sure.
For a given value of S, what you basically do is find the closest lower multiple of 5. So a number lower than S, that is a multiple of 5. And then when you divide it by 5, that should be the answer.
Okay, that's fair enough, guys. Anyone else wants to give an answer? Okay, it's fine. So I just want you to think about one thing when you think about this problem. When you have to choose L, right, you have to choose a number which is divisible by 2 the most amount of times. Now, which number can be divided by 2 the most amount of times? A power of 2, yes. So if you have 2 to the power of 2, 2 to the power of 3, 2 to the power of 4, you can divide that so many times by 2, right? Because it's just 2 into 2 into 2 into 2. So you can divide it by 2 into 2 into 2 into 2. So that's the most amount of times any number can be divided by 2 given such constraints. So now, next slide please, yes. So let's start with one example. So let's take a random example, 12 and 36. So we can divide 12 by 2, go to 6 and 36. Then we can go from 6 and 36 to 6 and 18, then 6 and 9, then 3 and 9, and there are 4 operations being performed on this. And one thing to note is, it doesn't matter which way we divided them in, right? If I divided L as many times as it could be divided, and then I divided B as many times as it could be divided, did it make a difference in the answer? Just try it out once for yourself. Divide L completely, then divide B, and see if there's any difference in the number of operations we need. Just try it once. No, there's no difference, right? So now the important thing is to note is that L and B are independent of each other when we're dividing. But now comes the constraint. So next slide please. Thank you. So let's take an example. Suppose S is 4. So we have starting dimensions are 1, so we can't do anything with that, right? Because L plus B has to be less than equal to S. So 1 plus 1, 2, 2 is less than 4. So we're fine. Then we have 1 comma 2. So we can only divide this once, right? 2 we can divide by 2, and then it becomes 1. So that's 1. Then we have 1 comma 1 and 1 comma 3, as in, I made a mistake there, sorry. 1 comma 3, we can't perform any operations. 2 comma 1, same thing as 1 comma 2, it doesn't make a difference. So we perform one operation. We have 2 comma 2. So now 2 comma 2, we can perform 2 operations, right? We can divide 2 by 2, and then the other 2 by 2 to get 1 comma 1. That's 2 operations. And then we have 3 comma 1, and we can't do anything with 3 comma 1, and now we're out of numbers. We have no more numbers we can fill in. So you can note that in this example at least, 2 comma 2 were the two numbers which were divisible by 2 the most. And what's probably you can know is both are powers of 2. They're both 2 to the power of 1. So next slide please. So now we can make a general prediction. So now we know the maximum number which can be divided by 2 the most is some 2 to the power of n. Let's assume L is 2 to the power of n and m is 2 to the power of some m. Okay, b is 2 to the power of n, sorry. So now we have 2 to the power of n plus 2 to the power of n is less than equal to s. So now we have a general idea of how we're supposed to frame our answer. So given s random value, like let's say 9, 16, whatever, we have to find 2 powers of 2 whose sum is less than equal to s. Now these 2 powers of 2 also have to be maximized, right? Because we want to find the highest power of 2, so it can be divided the most amount of times. Also, I'm sorry, most of this will go over your head in the beginning. So after the orientation, we'll be sharing these slides and recording. You can go through it at your own time. Make sure you understand the answer and then proceed with whatever you're doing. So now we have 2 to the power of n plus 2 to the power of n is less than equal to s. So now we can generalize this as n plus m also has to be maximized, right? Because we want to find the highest number n and the highest number m such that their sum is the total number of operations which you have to make the greatest. I know a lot of this is going over your head right now, it's fine, don't worry. So now what to do is just find two powers of 2 whose sum is the greatest there can possibly be when compared to s, and n plus m is also the greatest there can be. That's just our two conditions. So now I'll give you one example problem you can do. Suppose s is equal to 9. Can two people just find out, given what I've said, what two values of 2 to the power of n and 2 to the power of m we have to find? Anyone wants to do? Yeah, sure. S is equal to n. Sorry, I said n? 9, my bad.
The answer should be 2 raised to the power 2 plus 2 raised to the power 2.
Okay, why can you just give me like generalization? Why do you think that? It's like, don't worry, it's not real.
Because 2 raised to the power 2 is 4 and 2 raised to the power 2 again is 4, and if we add that we get 8, and with that we can make 4 operations.
Okay, why not 8 comma 1? I just want curious. Why not 8 comma 1? Sure. Can you just pass it on? Sure.
Because if you do 8 comma 1, then you can only perform 3 operations.
3 operations. Perfect.
2 raised to power 3.
What? Thank you, Srinath. So, okay, so that's one example. So this is actually a question from the Zonal Informatics Olympiad, and in that there were 3 questions. S is equal to 9, S is equal to 24, and S is equal to 5096. Okay? So if you want, I'll share that problem with you all later on after the orientation, and you're welcome to go through it and make sure you understand the solution. Okay, so now I'll just go on to the next slide. So this is the example we just showed. You're free to read it for like a few seconds. So I think we're running short on time, so I'll just quickly speed up. So thank you. That was competitive programming, and now I'll be. No, you don't need to clap it. I'll go next. Now I'm talking about computational linguistics. Okay. Sorry about that. So what most people think linguistics is like when they hear linguistics, they connect language, and that means okay, I'm just going to become a Hindi teacher or an English teacher or something like that. No, that's not linguistics. Now what linguistics actually is the science of language. Like. I'll give you an example. Have you ever wondered why certain languages, the words are similar? Like, can anyone tell me what English, the words for mother and father are? I just said it. What am I doing? English, yes. English words for, Hindi words for mother and father. Mata Pita. Sanskrit, anyone? It's Mate Pita. Okay, I'll accept that. Go on. Okay, anyone knows any South Indian language? What is it? South Indian language. Amma, Appa. Okay, wait, just note down these words I'm saying. Mother, father, Mata, Pita, Amma, Appa. Okay? Do you see one certain pattern for me? Now let's go into European languages. Anyone know French here? Okay. A lot of French. Give it to anyone. Tanishka is not.
Mare and pair.
Mare and pair. M and P. Okay, again. Spanish. Anyone know Spanish here? Okay. What is Spanish? Okay. Madre and padre. Italian. Again, Italian. Hi, mama and papa. That's standard.
So the Italian word is pretty similar to Spanish. It's madre and padre.
Madre and padre, exactly. German kids here. Mutter and father.
It's motor and father.
Thank you, President Exun 2020 and 2023. Yes, so the words are motor and father. Do you want to give one more example? Yes. So do you see one? So, okay. So hello. Sorry. Okay, so did anyone note some connection there? Oh, B. So the connection between all those languages is M and B, mother and father. So have you ever thought about why that could be? Why is that? Anyone wants to? Sure.
They're the easiest syllables for a child to speak when he is.
Okay, that's fair enough. But there are other languages which don't have the same tones. So there's a different reason. Okay, I'll just give it to you. We're anyways running late on time. So it's because it belonged to one huge family called the Proto-Indo-European language family, okay? It's complex family, but everywhere from Norway, I'm repeating this, from Norway all the way to India, all these languages have similar elements, okay? Because they're in one big family called the Proto-Indo-European language family. Okay? I'm telling you this for a reason, okay? Next slide, please. So this is some examples of what linguists do. This makes no sense. You don't have to pay any attention to it. Okay? This is just really, this is what actually.
Mic dialogue.
Hello, okay, it works. So you don't have to pay any attention to this. This is what actual linguistics is. What we're doing is problem solving, okay? So you're going to be given in a problem random languages. There could be some random extinct language from like 2000 years ago. They're going to give you that. Then they're going to ask you, solve these questions based on whatever information we've given you. So we'll do one of those right now, okay? Next slide, please. And also what computational linguistics is, which is why the tech relation from Exun, is basically one important thing which all of you know by now. Can anyone tell me what computational linguistics biggest application is right now? Natural language processing. Okay, what is that? There's one particular thing I'm looking for. ChatGPT, yes. So ChatGPT is what exactly linguistics is about. It's about making a chatbot, a language bot, which can communicate nearly as a human. Okay? So that is what the end goal of computational linguistics is, and that's what we'll be doing here. Okay, next slide, please. So this is some applications of computational linguistics. Next slide. Time. So we have one problem for you. So consider you're free to do it on your own right now, and raise your hands to signal the answer. I'll tell you when to do that. So consider 4 words in the Norwegian language. I mentioned this earlier. And the translations in English in no particular order. As in, whatever you see there is not the actual same order of whatever the English translations are. Far, far, more, far more, and more far. Which is grandfather and grandmother paternal, grandfather and grandmother maternal in some order, okay? So what you have to do is figure out which is which, okay? I'll give you 1 minute because we don't have time, sorry. Okay, so I think we're good. Actually, I think we don't even need one. Oh, second. Okay, so I think everyone's got some answer here. So raise your hand to signal the answer. A. Whoever thinks it's A, raise their hands. One person. Okay, even he doesn't think it's A. Never mind. B. Who thinks it's B? Okay, not a lot of people think it's B. And C. It's B. Okay, slowly people are. You don't have to be shy. It doesn't matter if you get it wrong or right. Okay, majority of the AVH thinks it's B. Okay, and C. Who thinks it's C? Okay, 2 people. So, why do you think it's B? Can anyone tell me why it's B? Hey, I want, because a lot of people said it's B, right? So why is it B? Can anyone tell me? Do we have a mic? Okay, everyone just quiet down. He's getting a bit nervous.
I think it's B because far for grandfather, paternal is because we call father. So F for father, so it comes for paternal, and for like grandmother it's far more as it is paternal mother. So F is also there, M is also there, and more is grandmother maternal because both are M, maternal and mother, and it's more far for grandfather maternal because they are best.
Lovely answer. Can we clap for me? So yes, So I am spoiling it right now. The answer was B. And did you notice the entire AVH, except like 2 people, thought it was B, okay? Can you figure out why that is? Because all of you have been learning some Indo-European language from birth. Be it Tamil, Telugu, Hindi, any of these languages, they all have these same elements. So when you see a problem like this, you know instinctively, you might not know it consciously, but you know this is the answer, which is, isn't that beautiful? That is linguistics. So this is an explanation. You can see this later on. I think everyone's got the answer by now, and thus the answer is option B. I'm sorry for taking so much of your time, and now I'll pass it on to hardware, which is Siddharth, for speaking about the hardware talk. Thank you.
What is hardware? Any idea? So hardware. Sorry, it was rhetoric. Hardware is sorry about that. Hardware is essentially everything related to the physical and digital parts of the computer. You experiment with it, you play with it. Hardware is a practical hands-on department. You get your hands dirty. Not just a theory, no theory. You get your hands dirty. Alright. So 2020. We all remember how that went, right? Online. Anyway, so during online class, raise your hands. Who all encountered issues? I'm not talking about who all encountered issues with their PCs. And I'm not talking about the mic not working thing. We all know what that was, alright? We all know what that was. That was a legit mic not working thing. That wasn't. Anyways, so when your computer wasn't working right, and you couldn't go to the store to get it fixed, were you left itching with that thought? How could I fix that? How could I get it to work again?
Not really.
So that's when you start experimenting. That's when you start learning about hardware. It's an in-depth understanding of the technology that makes up computer. It's not just knowing about the specifications. RTX 3090, what does that mean? So it's a vast field. It's a vast field. It contains everything from your PC to your smartwatch to even smart toaster. So here at Exun, we usually go about competitive hardware. So that requires the knowledge of ever-changing. Ever-changing hardware technologies and the past major technologies which have defined current. So here's an example question on what you're generally asked in hardware. What is the purpose of PS2 ports? Which standard has come to mostly replace this technology? And what are the advantages and disadvantages of PS2 compared to this new technology?
PS2 is slow.
What is PS2? What is PS2? Anyone want to take a guess? And then what is the purpose?
Gaming console.
Alright. So, if you read the question, I said PS2 ports. I said PS2 ports, not PS2 ports. What is that?
The ports in the computers used to plug in cables.
Really close. Very close. So which standard has mostly come to replace this?
PS5.
Amazing. Brilliant. These guys are brilliant. PS2 ports are used to connect keyboards and mice to computers. So while they're still visible on modern motherboards, they have mostly been replaced by the USB Universal Serial Bus standard. So the advantages are N key lower. Basically, it registers each and every key you hit. It doesn't matter how many keys you hit simultaneously, it will register in everything of these items. And lower latency compared to USB. So what the disadvantages are, it's got quite viable disadvantages. So it's not hot swappable. You cannot just unplug a PS2 powered mouse or mouse keyboard and then plug in another one. It won't work. It won't work. And look at these connectors. Look at these tiny dots, these tiny ports. Just imagine how fragile they were. So that's another major disadvantage. So obviously in 2020 and 21, we couldn't have an offline hardware event because lockdown and those restrictions. So instead we held a hardware hunt. It was basically a capture the flag cryptic hunt style event. So it required you to use software. Alright, so there's a major misconception about hardware. People believe that it is only about the physical parts, just the parts, the specifications. But then how would that work? Isn't that just a piece of metal? You need some software to make it, you need some software to make it work. So that's what was the that's the focus of these hunts. You were made to use stuff like file management, recovery tools, virtual machines. Anyone has ever heard of them? Alright. So virtual machines are basically tricking an OS into thinking it's running on bed, it's running on the PC while it's just a container. It's like you're running it like a program on a computer, but that OS thinks that it's on the PC. It's running on the PC, so you've got brand new OS to work with. So virtual machines, electronic circuits, and brute forcing. So brute forcing, capture the flags. This is something that the cryptic hunt department will talk about. And that's all. Thank you, and I'd like to hand it over to
And I'll be telling you guys about group discussion, or commonly known as GD. So, alright, thank you. So I'll be first starting with a very simple prompt and want to hear what you guys think about it. So the example prompt is smart tech infringing our rights or not? So whosoever disagrees, agrees with that opinion, wants to give any pointers at all, please raise your hands, and I guess somebody will come to you with it. Infringing means violating, breaking. Is it like infiltrating your life if you feel it's affecting your life? Yeah.
I believe it does, because it does take up privacy, but it also enhances our life. So it's rather in the gray side of this.
Okay. Prompt. Great. There's somebody behind him.
I feel that the answer depends, because if smart tech is infringing our rights, then it is only infringing it because we are allowing it to. We have given it the privacy. We have given it the right to do so. So smart tech, if used in the right ways, will not be able to violate the privacy that much unless we are allowing it to do so.
Okay, great. There's another. Shyam.
Smart tech, by smart tech you mean like AIs, cookies on website, etc., right?
Yes, it includes.
Yes, I feel like smart tech isn't infringing our rights, since we have complete control over how much information we wish to hand over to it, and it can't forcibly come into our lives, as Abu mentioned. Since with AIs, we specifically choose to give it information, while yes, it does make our lives more easier. Again, it's always on our fingertip, and the choice is always there for us to choose if we really want to allow it to do so or not.
Fair enough. There's somebody here as well.
Smart tech is infringing rights, because you know that everyone really knows smart tech in the future can control us. It can lead to literally end of humanity. So I think smart tech is infringing rights. I don't know, but I'm just going to say.
I guess it is infringing our rights. Because like if we look at the healthcare, though it is helping us, like since now the technology
dark green. Guys, can you not talk? Thank you. Yeah, we'll be taking the last for now.
Infringing the rights because scientists are making lots of robots. If they will start making lots of robots, it will be very harmful because there will be no use and there will be lots of robots.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so as discussed by some others here, if we do say that yes, it is it's actually not infringing our lives, then we can talk about some examples. For example, the driver-assisted features in Tesla cars. Another thing you can talk about is how it's actually, as mentioned, enhancing our privacy and not violating it. For example, a lot of us have Amazon Echo speakers at home, right? So what if that data collected by that speaker can be used to distinguish between the different family members of that house, and hence provide a more comprehensive data about several things and improve your safety. However, there is the other side as well, which you can talk about. You can also, talk about the disadvantages. And in the case of, say, Tesla vehicles only, you can say that it is improving our safety, but it does not need to come at the expense of privacy, because nobody wants to feel recorded or unsafe in their own cars, right? Along with that, there is, if you do know some more technical terms, you can use things like surveillance capitalism, where the data collected is used by corporations and hackers to target you via the information provided.
Telemetry data.
Right. So now we come to what exactly is the GD. So a GD refers to an event where participants, let's say, sit around a hypothetical table and discuss about a given prompt which is given to them. So they provide opinions and rationale as to what they think the topic is about and whether they agree, disagree, or are in the grey area with regard to that topic. As to the format, it varies a lot from GD to GD. I will be coming to that later. Another misconception a lot of people have is that GDs are debates, but there is a vast difference. GDs are more informal, and moreover, they also, you can change your stance in between, and the aim is not to defend your stance, but to come to a conclusion with regard to it. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, then GD is the right fit for you. Coming to the format, like I said, it varies a lot from organizer to organizer. However, some things do remain the same. Generally, you start with the opening statement, which lasts around a minute or so. You are given time to prepare for it as well. In a sense, it is like a trailer to your argument, where you give your introduction, whether you agree for that topic, disagree, or are on the grey side, and why you have chosen that so. Now, when the actual GD starts, you will be given some time to prepare for that as well. And as regard to the number of participants, they can be an individual or a group discussion as well, as a team discussion as well. It can be moderated or unmoderated. Moderated is when the judges and organizers interject in between and give you their inputs in case you are diverting from the topic or something. And unmoderated, on the other hand, is when there is a free flow of argument, and that usually also improves the quality of the discussion. However, that does not mean that you can use strong language or aggressive tactics, because that is not needed to maintain the decorum of the GD. After that, you do have a closing statement which refers to when you end the argument and summarize all of your views and try to conclude in a very concise, power-packed, and it's equally important as the main GD itself. So I think that's about the format. If there are any questions with regard to the format or anything in specific, please let me know. Okay, we'll take the questions later then. Alright, thank you everybody.
Guys, can we please maintain some decorum? Thank you.
Hello, my name is Shaurya. I'm here to introduce the machine learning department to you. So, machine learning is basically a subfield in a broad range of specializations in artificial intelligence. Now, artificial intelligence is where you make the program teach itself how to solve a task instead of hard coding the instructions into the model. In machine learning, we have deep learning, machine learning, and in the end, we have artificial intelligence, which includes all the possible all algorithms that basically teach themselves how to do tasks. Next slide. What you may have thought of. So you may have thought of the Tesla Autopilot AI. So this is about self-driving cars and Amazon Alexa. Next. You have thought of Google defines AlphaGo. Now AlphaGo is a AI that recently beat one of the top world champions in Go. Go has over 10 to the power 360 combinations. So the fact that a machine learning algorithm can beat someone is very interesting. And ChatGPT, I'm sure most of you know about ChatGPT. How many people know about ChatGPT? Literally everyone knows about it. So next. So we have DALL-E 2, which can create pictures on a canvas. We have a fox painted in the sky. Next slide. Data and machine learning. So data is very important to machine learning because data is what makes think about what will be the results. Now data, if you do not have it organized correctly, you will not be able to make the correct AI. Now if the AI cannot comprehend the data correctly, for example, if you give it some sort of correct data sets, the AI will give you wrong results. So it's very important that you gather as much data as possible. And understanding how to fetch and manipulate data is absolutely required for machine learning. Next slide. So, what's a model? So, model is the fundamental unit of a machine learning project. Now, a machine learning project, you obviously know what it is. So, a model is fed data on the basis of which it does the task it's meant to do, for. It's also fed data to give a desired results. So, for example, we give it the images of two different species of flowers. We wanted to differentiate between those two flowers. Now, there's blue flowers, there's red flowers. So, we're gonna make them differentiate between blue and red flowers. In these flowers, we're going to feed them around 100 to 200 images to the model. Now, this model will try to classify as much as possible. And then, after training for a while, it will give you results on new data. So, for example, I have an image of a red flower that I do not know.
Shoyan, 1 second. Can everyone please give some respect to him? He's put in a lot of effort and he's made some amazing projects over the years. Just give him the respect he deserves. Thank you. That's all. Just keep going.
Thank you. So, the model will eventually learn and it will give good outputs, but not with 100% accuracy, unless you have like a God model, which in case, if you do, please let me know. It will give like up to 90%, maybe 95% accuracy. And models are pretty good. And in machine learning, we have a very innovative form of machine learning models. They are called neural networks. Now, neural networks are very fascinating. They are used for mostly like every kind of project there is. Google DeepMind, anything. So, next slide. Yeah, so there are various types of models in machine learning. There's supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement learning. Now, supervised learning is when you know what the answer is. Now, we have some examples choosing the image of a dog or a cat, or predicting the weather. You know the answer, so you're going to feed the data to the model. Now, in unsupervised learning, you're not sure where the answer is or what the answer is. So it could be grouping species of orchids together, a thread for fraud detection, And in reinforcement learning, you're not sure even how to get the answer. Now, in this, a model tries to figure out its own environment. It tries to figure out how to optimize itself so that it can get the most reward that it wants. So, our work. So, this project was made by Manat Kaur when she was back in 9th. So this is just a reference.
Hi, I am Gaurav. Now we'll be moving on to the creative department. So first, we'll be showcasing the trailer was Photo 2022, our annual flagship event. Can we dim the lights? Volume, sir. Sir, volume.
Sorry for the delay, but trust me, you'll enjoy the audio on this one. It's very, very good.
Pratish handpicked it. बढ़िया लाइट्स जे भी रखी लाइट्स
Hi, I'm Kanishka, she's Ananya, and we went to computer design. So I'll ask you a basic question, but मेरे को basic answer मत देना, ठीक है? What is design? Like, अच्छा आंसर चाहिए. Okay, yeah. Hi.
Design has many variations, so it can also be a doodle or a novel drawing, or any other, like a border would also be a design. So anything in which you make and there's a pattern formed, it's a design.
Oh yeah. Anyone else?
When there's a raw shape in your brain and you express it so others will see it, that is design.
ठीक है, अभी किन लोगों का यहाँ पे प्लान है डिजाइन इंडक्शन देने का, लाइक ऑलरेडी पता है कि देना है, ठीक है? Alright, so the first time I don't remember who asked me कि डिजाइन क्या होता है. I just made something on MS Paint and I was like देखो मैंने करा है ये डिजाइन. तो that was my definition for design back then. But design के बहुत सारे vague ideas है in everyone's mind. Is it about making illustrations? Is it about making logos? All of this is design, but these are like very, very small parts of design. Design actually is a way of creative communication, जहाँ पे तुम अपने mind की कोई भी idea को, you can just do anything with it. The only limit that you have with design is your imagination. और क्या बोलना था मेरे को? Right, okay. So moving on, like अगर तुम्हें कोई you want to go for a movie. You see a movie poster which is very boring and dull, you'll probably not want to even go for it. So design plays such an important role जो we probably neglect at times. Like the presentation that you see here, ये जो 50 years वाला logo है, या anything, like इस room में 10 चीजें होंगी at least जो designed है. So design is actually a very important thing in technology and सब दे देना, बहुत अच्छा field है, you will enjoy it. I would like to pass it to another.
Can you go to the previous slide once? Okay, so I'm pretty sure you guys know like what a poster is. So posters are used for an advertisement of a product, or they're used for telling people that a workshop is being conducted, or for example the poster we made for the Eli elections. So posters are very important because it helps you to convey your message clearly to an audience. So here is an example of a poster that a member in our design department made. Next, so the logos. Now I'm pretty sure you guys have seen like logos. Like every company has a logo. Now, why? Why does every company have a logo? Well, it's because okay, it's there because it helps to create an identity of a company, and it helps you to differentiate yourself from the competitors. So the first two logos you see, they are some logos we made for competition, and here this picture depicts the process of making a proper logo. Okay, so before we start with app UIs and UX, can anyone tell me what idea you have about a UI or UX? Okay, then.
So an app UI is like when you open an app, like the sort of design or like whatever you see is the app UI, and like the experience of the user. So app UI is user interface and UX is user experience, the experience of the user.
Perfect. Okay, anyone else?
Web UI with other, like since we have a very good answer for app, someone describe web
UI is like a interface between the user and the software.
Oh yes, correct. Okay, so here are some examples. Here are some other examples we made for various competitions. Next up. So we just don't have UIs for just apps. We have UIs for websites as well. So that's for a competition. The second one we made for Soda Club Volunteer, and the third one, like we recently redesigned our whole Exun website. So here's a mock-up of it.
Right, so ये जो वाला है, this has been made by Ananya only. She made us a Photoshop, and this is a digital art made by one of our members who's not here right now. Next slide. Right, so as a member of Exun Design Department, you'll also be making posts for our Instagram, जहाँ पे हम promote करते हैं अपने events पे, and we just basically tell people about what we're going to do. Next slide. Underscore. So has anyone ever seen underscore यहाँ पे? Oh, you guys have? Okay. Interesting. So underscore is basically Exun's annual magazine that we publish in end of the year. Basically, that has a lot of articles, designs, illustrations, and a lot about what we have been doing through the year. And of course, our group discussion department of Exun and design, they play a very, very important role in making of underscore. Next slide. Illustrations, right? So I think many of you must have attended the Girls in Tech workshops last year that we had, right? So this is one of the designs that we made for that. This is Exun illustration जो हमने delay कर दिया था, तो हम यहाँ पे दिखा रहे हैं अब जो बहुत सुंदर है. And what is this one? I think Ananya could take over. I don't remember.
Okay, so let's just move on to the first one. So the first one is a type of a flat illustration. The second one is a form of pixel art. It's something we tried out last year itself, and it was very new for us. And unfortunately, as she said, it got delayed a bit, so we're showcasing it here. And the third one is an album cover. So this is again a very detail-oriented illustration. Right? Oh, okay. And as a part of Exun, you're not only like going for competitions or working on social media posts and all. So you'll also be working on a lot of fun stuff like making icons or banners or actually stickers as well. And most importantly, hoodies. Like last year we designed hoodies and we got hoodies and like all the members we got hoodies. So if you're planning to and stickers, yes. So if you guys are planning to join Exun and you become a member, you'll hopefully get a hoodie as well. I'm pretty sure you guys like know some of the common softwares we use for design. Pretty guys. So you guys have probably heard of Adobe Illustrator and Photoshop, right?
Yes.
So Illustrator is usually used for making illustrations and logos, whereas Photoshop is used for you edit photos and you make eye-catching posters. Then Figma and XD, and I think you probably haven't heard of these, but these are mainly used for making prototypes for apps and web. So basically you're making UIs in here. And Figma is actually something we generally use in Exun a lot because it's collaborative and you can do anything on that, whether it's making UIs or making illustrations and all.
Right, so that's it for design. And also just the video that you saw, वो एक चीज का नहीं था. There was like so many of it. There were so many components of technology like 3D, motion design. So whatever you do, that will get implemented in something much bigger than what you're working on. Thank you, and I would like to give it over to 3D.
Hello guys. Before we start, what is 3D design? दिमाग में क्या आता है जब 3D design सुनते हो? क्यों दिमाग आता है? No. What do you think when I say 3D design? सबके दिमाग में क्यों आता है? No one thinks of movies, Marvel, Disney. Okay, so for all of you guys, then 3D is just cubes. Nice. Alright. Let's do it. Yeah. So all of us, when we think of 3D, maybe I thought that everyone was saying that it would be movies, CGI, animation. We've all seen these movies. They're all 3D animation. But have you thought that 3D is used everywhere. It is used to make the products. The mobile phones you use was once in a 3D file. Most of your instruments that we use at home, like the blenders, the mixers, all of those things are generally CAD made. CAD is a way of doing 3D design. All right. So yeah, some of the examples. Next slide, please. Even IKEA, the huge like the wood store, even IKEA uses 3D design to make their these things. What do you call them? Sorry. So yeah, even IKEA uses these visualizations to show what your house can be. Now this thing can be. You use 3D because you can have control now. Let's just say I could just take a photograph of all of you guys and then I cannot really control, right? Who's sitting where. But let's just say I had a 3D file of all of you guys. Then I can actually tell the computer where to put every single person, and that will give me control. So that's the reason why we do 3D. 3D is also used in fields like medical sciences, even toys, fashion, and space technology, all because of 3D printers. Now, so much of this technical stuff. You all just looked at a video. Let's look at another one. This one. Yeah, so let's look at a video. Where lights jump कर दीजिए. एक second, pause. Oh, yeah, lights. Alright, so now that you watched the video, let me just go through the actual process that what do we think when we're doing 3D. Next slide. So it generally starts with a basic shape. Let's just say for this example, if you want to make a pan with some omelets, so generally we'll start with a cylinder and then model out a pan shape. Now with this pan shape, you add some materials and then you add some lighting and your camera setup. It might look daunting at first, but once you get the hang of it, it's pretty simple actually. And in the end, you get your final rendered image. The following montage shows what exactly you might think of, like when you're working on a scene. It may go through a lot of stages. So you start with some basic models, then you start with your lighting and you add your colors slowly and steadily. And that's how you get to the end of your final image. Now let's look at some of the works of our members. Next slide, please. Next slide. Let's look at the slide. So yeah, and like always, every single 3D artist goes through a lot of stages when making their artwork, and the following are just some things that you can do with 3D. All right, thank you guys. Now I'll be handing over to Shaurya.
Good afternoon everyone, I'm Shaurya and with me is Arav and we're the members of the game development department at Exun. So the three of us are going to tell you about game development today. What? Sorry, the third person's presentation that probably knows more than us. Next slide please.
So, what is game development? Does anyone have an idea about game development? Anyone? Can you talk to me?
So, game development is takes and setting, how do you say, so it just sets up the game and what will happen if this thing happens, and that makes up a game from the base of coding.
Yeah, correct. So whenever you create a game, right, or let's say you play a game, you always think that how was the game made in the first place? Okay, that happens every time. Let's say whenever I play a game, I always think, okay, how was this game made in the first place? Right? So let's just understand how the game actually get made in the first place. So for example, we use many tools, and let's just take a few examples of a really famous game. For example, Fortnite. And there are also many games like that. Mind it, these games weren't made overnight. They actually took a lot of skill and effort by the developers who made it. Right? It takes a lot of skill and effort by the people who actually made this, and it takes nearly a year to actually perfect your game and actually perfect the art of game development. Next slide. So let's talk about the tools. So we actually need to use a lot of tools for making games. Because if you just start to create games by scratch, it actually takes a lot of time to create games. Yeah, you have any doubts? Okay, there's some person in the back.
I just wanted to ask, why do you miss out Fortnite and Minecraft?
Very good question. So, we don't really incorporate violence at our club, and so we're really against it. So these are the really most common, the games that we portray here, they are the most common games here.
Minecraft Education Edition.
I'm sorry?
What about Minecraft Education Edition?
That's a really good question, and I would answer it if I had an answer for you. Okay? But right now we are very low on time, so we'll move on with the presentation.
So talking about the tools. So these are a few tools that we use. For example, we use game engines like Unity, Code, and Unreal Engine. These are the tools that you can actually use to create games in. For example, there are also other tools like Blender, Audacity, and GIMP. Blender is used for creating the 3D models as we just talked about, that is 3D models. And GIMP is used for creating textures, and Audacity for creating models. Next slide. So,
Guys, can you please calm down? Thank you.
So, most of you would think that game development is a tedious task. So, you need to write code, you face challenges, and that's the mindset that a common person has when they think of game development. But here at Exun, we work in a very organized environment, which gives us a clear thinking, right? So the first thing that we do before we start the development process is that we write down each and every detail of, say, the mechanics and everything that should be included in the main gameplay of the game that we're developing, right? So that gives us a really clear picture of what the result should be, right? Secondly, we refer to a lot of credible sources online on websites like github.com, Stack Overflow, unity.com, and such other sites, and you might have heard of them. Thirdly, once we finish the main mechanics of the game, the main gameplay, then we start working towards the extras of the game that would complete it, like adding audio, self-made assets, textures, and 3D models. And so lastly, we also work towards enhancing everything that can be enhanced. So we test each and every system before exporting our game and try and perfect it, right? Next slide, please. So publishing your game is also a very important part. Right, you have a question? Can you pass mic, please? Ishan, you have mic. Last one.
इसको जाननी है
Just curious, I don't know. Is it niche or is the game?
Which one of you wanted the mic?
He has a doubt.
Right, so publishing your game on websites like itch.io and Steam is also a very crucial part of the development process. How many of you have heard of Steam? Right. So, and you might have also heard of Google Play Store and App Store and Epic Games from where you download your games, right? So similarly we have Steam and itch.io. But, sorry? So all of these websites are where you pay to publish your games, but itch.io is a website which is completely free of cost. And so, as I was saying earlier, publishing your game is also a very important part of the development process. So, it is very important for you to hear others' opinions who have played your game, right? Their opinion matters a lot to you because they will tell you what they want because they are your customer, and they will, since they tell you what they want, right? You can incorporate, you can use that knowledge and incorporate better logic in your game, better logic and enhance your game accordingly, right? And that is how publishing your game is also a very crucial part of the development process. Now, these are a few games made by us.
Sure. So these are few games that have been made by us. This is the first game which was created by Man. So this game is about a space exploration game in which the people actually and the users have to actually explore throughout the space and actually attack other bases. Not in the sense of violence, but in terms of going there, capturing the flags. Right? And after you are gone to other bases, you will actually conquer those bases and increase your reign in the time space realm. Next year.
Now, this was a puzzle game called Escape that was made by me and our department head Adi, who's not here with us. So, this game is about an engineer who gets taken away by some bad people, and he's basically asked to enhance the compound of the bad people, but he doesn't want to. That's against his will. So, he solves puzzles and uses his stealth and combat skills to break out of the compound. Shreyansh, will you help? Shreyansh, here? Shreyansh, here? Right, next slide, please. Just a moment, next.
What was the name of the first game?
Which one?
The slide before.
SpaceX.
And can we play this on Google Flow? Google?
Not yet, but yes. It's available on itch.io. You can download it from there.
Is it not on Play Store?
Not as of now, no, because it was still in the beta version.
Okay.
I think you also had it out? Adi, sorry, Asma.
Can these games be found on the App Store?
Not yet because see, we try and work with free assets and free websites. So every time you publish a game on the Google Play Store, you have to pay $5. So since we're not trying to publish the game and do something professional with it, we're just doing it for our fun. We upload it on itch.io where it is available freely to everyone. The mic, Jeff. 1 second, please. game?
Yeah.
So this game is called Escape. So it's a very basic game. You're stuck in a. Have you played Mario before?
Yes.
Right? So the mechanics are quite similar.
Even ball jumping.
Right. So the mechanics are quite similar to Mario, right? You use the up arrow, down arrow, left arrow, and right arrow keys that will help you navigate through. And so you see these little things, right? They can be rotated. So whenever you go close to one of these, you rotate them, and you have to connect them and create a panel flow so that all of them glow, right? And every time a panel glows means that the circuit is getting complete, and eventually you must complete the circuit. Now, this is rotated wrongly. If you rotate it towards here, right, this will connect, and the flow of the circuit will get completed, and this particular gate gets unlocked, right, which will help them help the player move into the other level, right? That's how the game works. So we're done with all the questions. I'm really sorry, we're running low on time. And now I'll be inviting Ekagra along with Arav to speak about app development. Thank you.
Me and Arav will be introducing app development. So, has anyone ever used apps? Obviously, everyone uses apps, right? So, let's take a few examples about a few apps. Like WhatsApp, for example. But can you tell me, do you prefer more of WhatsApp web or the native mobile apps? I guess we are hearing answers from both sides. But I would say that native apps are better. Let's see why are they better. Yeah, native app could be better in lot of instances because you can one second. Hello. So, hi, we'll get over in 15 minutes, then you can go home, don't worry. Just we have one or few things left, and then we are fine. Just until then, we request you just give us your attention for just a bit. Okay? Thank you, that's all. Yeah. So native apps are different from web apps because they can access certain features of the device which web apps cannot, such as you can have offline functionality, you can have personalization, etc. Native apps actually can get a little cumbersome to maintain and make, but they provide really good performance. Next slide.
So this is an app called Prepto. So this was made by a few people last year. So Prepto is an app on which you can actually attempt MCQ tests. So over here on the app, the user is allowed to take tests about SAT and JEE, and the user is awarded the points on the basis of how long did you take to actually attempt the question, how many tries did it take you to actually get to the answer, and many more factors. So this actually gives a really fun way of learning, and it's more engaging to learn this way. Next slide.
This is the Exun 2022 app. This was made in Flutter, and Flutter is basically a hybrid framework which allows you to develop apps which are work for both Android and iOS with the same code base. It fetched data directly from the database, and it showed the updates in the app and through push notifications. This was downloadable during our Exun annual event.
So we'll talk about a few frameworks now, right? Yeah. So we use a few frameworks like Xcode and also Android Studio. You can use more tools, and at Exun we do not really ask you to make apps in a very specific framework. We allow you to make apps in any framework of your choice, and it's MIT app included, right? And you can create apps in any of the frameworks that you like, because the end goal is not to make apps in the most trendy frameworks, but to actually create apps that deliver the functionality required. Thank you. That will be all for the app development.
One thing.
Everyone please maintain some silence here. बस बहुत कम बचे हैं अब, and these are probably the ones you will love, so just wait for some time.
Again, now I'll be introducing you all to the web development. When you think of web development, you might think of someone coding a whole app all by himself, but this is definitely not the case.
It is a practice of creating and maintaining web applications for the internet. We look after the aesthetics, user experience, and functionality of a web application. It is a really collaborative field. We work with designers, copywriters, and other developers too. The skills we learn here are useful in a lot of other places like cybersecurity, app development, design, etc. Web development is an ever-expanding field. There are exactly. Starting out as a web developer, these are some of the technologies that you will learn when you're starting out. These include HTML, CSS, and JS, which you see on every web page you visit, and like that. These include some of the technologies we use at Exun, Next.js, React, and web framework for building user interfaces, Laravel, another web framework for building full stack web applications, and GitHub, MySQL, etc.
Guys, volume, please.
These are some of the projects we made at Exun. This includes Boxer, a web application which lets you access a Linux desktop right inside a browser without installing any additional software.
Right, so next we have motion design.
So, motion design is... So, motion design is generally confused with video editing. Well, you can do both. In Exun, our major aim is to make your own designs and add life to them to convey a story, for example. Now, where do we use motion design? It's either for branding for a company, content marketing, telling a story, or displaying adverts for products or services. Which software you can use? Primarily, we suggest using Adobe After Effects, but you can also use Calendar as an option. Now, so what's the motion design process and how you have to go from concept to final animation is what we'll be discussing. Let's take this as the example. The concept here was a character running in a chase while being documented in a newspaper article. So the first step is always to create a mood board where you have the inspiration from other projects. Now don't get me wrong, you don't have to copy from other projects, but just get the inspiration. Once you have the inspiration, you can make a rough sketch, basically like framing the composition and getting to know where you want things to be. Then you go into a vector-based software, either Illustrator. You can also do it inside After Effects. Just make a vector alternative and yeah, so it's ready for animation. And the final step is to animate. So these are a few examples of how motion design is used in digital content. First being small animations and clips. These are just a few examples. We also use them in promotional videos.
Right, you can see this afterwards, job slides I made.
And also short content writers.
Right, so that's for motion design.
Hello everyone, I'm Arush from the audio production department and I'll be letting you know about what we do in Exun regarding audio. Right. So, music production is basically on a laptop. And as you can see, there are some basic steps written here in order to create music online. And the most important step is the third step, the select sounds, because that's the final product. You may, some of you may here play the instruments such as guitar, keyboard, and you know about scales and keys, right? So these are some of the important things for music theory that you need while producing music. Now, it's not necessary for you to know an instrument. For example, I don't know any instrument out, but I still make music. It's mainly about the creativity, because the best music that you create is created on accident. And it's like, so where do we make this music? So we use a software called a DAW.
I know it is a session, but does not mean that you start talking. If you are here for a serious thing, after school hours. If you are casual, you are not required here.
Is that clear? All of you know that it is a serious club. And if you're non-serious, you don't have this place for you. So if you don't want to listen, you can just simply move out of the hall. That's it.
Yeah, so as I was talking, we use DAWs, Digital Audio Workstation, and these are the two most popular DAWs, FL Studio and Ableton. But obviously, since these are made for professionals, it has a hefty subscription which most of us cannot pay. So instead, we use some free DAWs, such as most of you might have a MacBook. So there's a software that is already installed on it called GarageBand, and it's very good for music production. Or if you're on Windows, then you can use something like Cakewalk. It is free, you can download it online for all softwares, for all operating systems. Thanks for that. Now, audio production at Exun. So, how many of you here know about the artist Coldplay? Right, so, yeah, hands down. 2 years ago, one of our alumni, Vinayak Dhawan, he produced an entire album for Coldplay. And the best part about this was that none of us knew because he had signed an NDA with the record label, and we got to know about it just last year only. And so as you can see, like in Exun, we don't just focus on competitions. It's more about developing as a producer yourself, and you can explore any sort of genre that you like. For example, the alumni that I mentioned earlier, Vinayak Bhaiya, he focused a lot on vocal mixing, and I focus a lot on beat producing, such as hip hop beats. And so you can choose any path that you like. And also we collaborate with different departments, such as the motion design department as shown earlier. We make the music for the motion design department, and all the creative clubs go hand in hand for a certain prompt. So teamwork is also a big part in this department. Yeah, that's it.
We now have Crypticon.
Good afternoon, I am Abhav and this is Avika, and we are the members of the Cryptic Hunts department. Okay, so cryptic hunts are basically online treasure hunts in a nutshell. More about it from Avika.
Right, so as I told you, cryptic hunts are like online treasure hunts. They require you to search for clues on the in real life, and then you have to connect the clues and connect all the dots to reach to one final answer. Now these questions, they generally revolve around tech, trivia, pop culture, but they can be anything that you can find on the internet. Right. So all these levels, they a hunt consists of multiple levels, but each level consists of a set of clues which you have to connect to get to one answer. These hunts, they test your ability to Google, your logical skills, your knowledge of cryptography, and they require a lot of patience. Hunts generally last from 24 hours to 2 days. Also, in most cases, you would be required to use online tools such as cipher decoders, encoders, and other common methods of finding data like barcodes, QR codes, and much more. So now to introduce you to cryptic hunts, I'll be giving you some general tips so that you can solve levels better. Next slide, please. Right, so while mastering if you want to get better at hunts, then competitions are the best way to learn them, but these tips might help you out. So the first rule is that Googling is allowed and it's heavily encouraged. So Googling is allowed and it's heavily encouraged, but in most cases it won't directly get you to the answer. You have to think logically and connect the dots and find hints in between so that you can get to the answer. Also, there are something called lead confirmations. They are basically short yes or no questions, and you can ask those from the moderators. So if you're stuck somewhere, then they can help you confirm if you are on the right path or not. If you're completely stuck and you can't do anything, then you can also request for public and private hints, but you should be careful not to spam the organizers. Also, trying SQL injections is strictly prohibited, and in most cases, it will lead you to disqualification. Remember that hunts are fun, and they're exhausting competitions as well. So they require heavy commitment and a never-give-up attitude above anything else. So now that you know the basic about hunts, Anna will be taking you through a sample.
Okay, so here's a sample cryptic level.
You found another string of numbers, but now this is confusing you more than ever. So in this level, we have two main hints. One is a YouTube video, and other is a string of numbers which are ones and zeros. So can someone tell me what do these represent? Yeah, great. It's binary. So now I'll tell you how to go about this level. Okay, so let's brainstorm through some basic ideas. First, obviously, we'll convert binary to text. However, it gives us no result. Binary to decimal also gives us a incoherent string of random numbers which absolutely makes no sense. So now let's move on to the second clue, a YouTube video link. It is basically a song titled What Does the Fox Say? Now one important thing to note is that whenever we get a YouTube video with a song, it's almost always important to analyze the lyrics. Okay, so the lyrics are mostly useless until the following line comes up. Will you communicate by Morse? So can someone tell me what Morse is? Yes. So what is there basically in Morse? Yeah, great. Yeah, great. It's basically a dots and dashes code. Okay, so converting binary to Morse doesn't mean blindly copy pasting it from a website. Rather, manually swapping out the zeros and ones. So the ones are replaced with a dash and zeros are replaced with a dot in regard to true or false. So then we get the following string of Morse from the binary. We convert this to text and get our answer. Could you have thought of this in your dreams? So this was an easy sample hunt level, but as we move on, the hunt levels get progressively harder. This year we have released a new platform known as practicesudocrypt.com. It is basically a training website which allows you to practice your various hunt levels. So I would like to give the stage to the lead developer, Arav, to explain more about it.
Hello. So this is a website, Practice Sudo. On this website, you can actually practice levels about cryptic hunts. So there are many levels which have been curated by our alumni and our current members, which can be accessed on the website. So the levels are sequentially ordered in terms of difficulty, and you can all go through the levels and practice on the levels. So let's say you're stuck on a level, we'll also give you hints regularly on the website. We can use those hints to proceed further. There's also a leaderboard system on the website, which you can, which is like used for you guys to give a bit of like a competition, so that everyone actually competes with others and learns better. So that is all for the website, and the website will come live on 12th. Currently there's a countdown on the website. You can go on the website, but there's a countdown. It ends on the 12th, and you guys can then start playing on the website. Thank you. That will be all for the website.
Right. So that's it for the orientation. We have completed all of the departments. If you have any queries, please feel free to mail us, or there's a link that I think that was shown in this beginning only, exun.org queries, where you can go and ask whatever queries you have. And in the last we have, right, okay. And now all of you can start leaving, but we have stickers for you. So while you're on your way out, make sure to take a sticker with you. Thank you very much for coming.